Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Giri Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Maybe in Srivasa's car, or maybe in the back. side. On the left side. Second. Shri Guru Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Jayam Vaishnava Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Varya Astota Desata Shri Shima His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Rabinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vaishnava Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Varya Astota Desata Shri Shima His Divine Grace Singha Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki and then Vaishnava Brinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Radha Kun Shamakun Giri Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Shri Purushottam Ketra Vipralamba Ketra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Shri Madhuja Dasa Ganaiti Murti Mahabhav Prakash Jagannath Swami Ki Shri Jagannath Shri Baladev Shri Mati Subhadramai Sudarshan Ju Ki Shri Shri Radha Lalita Tota Gopinath Ju Ki Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Shri Nrsimha Bhagavan Ki Shri Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Sorry, I had him in the car, 100%. Maybe I left him. I put him in a strange place. Hare Krishna. So before we speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, my revered spiritual master instructed me we should offer prayers to the Bhagavatam. So I'm hoping that they're going to put them on the board in just a moment. This takes about 5 minutes. Prabhuji there? Prayers to the Bhagavatam. Narayanam namaskrityam naram shaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat vede ramayane shaiva purane bhadate tata adavante cha madhye cha hari sarvatra giyate mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande Shigarum dinataranam Paramananda madhavam Paramananda he madhava Padunga luchi makaranda Paramananda he madhava Padunga luchi makaranda Se makaranda panakori Anande bolo hari hari Se makaranda Harinkana vandavela Parikoribe chakadola Name vandavela Parikoribe chakadola Se chakadolanga paraye Manamo rahunirantare Namo Nirantare Rahu Ha Krishna Boli Jiva Jao Ha Krishna Boli Jao Jiva Moteu Dada Rada Dava Moteu dada rada dava Mote udara radha dava. Dharma projita kaita vota paramo nirmatsanam satam Vedyam vastavamatta vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamune kate kim vaparayishvara Sadhyo hridyavarudhyate tukatibishu shushuvistakshana Nigamako pataro galitam phalam Shukamukadamitra dravasamyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Mohoroho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka Anarto Pasamam Sakshad Bhakti Yogam Adhoksaje Lokasya Janato Vidvams Chakre Satvat Samhitam Yasham Vaishyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhakti Rutpadyate Pumsa Shokamoha Vayapaha Srimad Bhagavatam Puranamamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsamekam Amalam Gyanam Padam Giyate Tatra Gyana Vairagya Bhakti Sahitam Naiskarmyam Aviskritam Tachchinvan Supaten Vichadana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchen Naraha Arto Yam Brahmasutranam Nirnaya Shrupo so Vedartha Paribrimita Sarva Vedeti Has Sadam Sadam Samudritam Sarva Vedanta Sadam Hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate Tadrasam Rita Tripta Shya Namyatya Sadvachika Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup Shri Bhagavata Tate Veda Shastra Hoite Parama Mahadva Chari Veda Upanishade Jata Kichu Hoya Tara Arta Lana Vyasa Korila Sanchai Jesu Te Jeru Vishaya Vachana Bhagavate Seruk Shloka Nibandana Jivera Nistara Lagi Sutra Koilo Vyasa Mayavari Vashishunile Hoya Sarvana Jaho Bhagavata Pada Vaishnava Ashtane Ekanda Shayakara Chaitanya Charane Bhagavata Jaina Mane Sejavana Sama Tara Sasta Achijanme Janme Prabhu Jama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of all literatures, a very good day to come together and read Srimad Bhagavatam. And I want to welcome our dear friend Noel Krishna Prabhu. Everybody please welcome Noel Krishna. Noel Krishna is aside from, he's a medical, you're RN or something, a nurse? but he's also studying Sanskrit. He's working on getting his PhD. He's a very learned person, very musical, and a good friend of ours. He stayed with us for 6 months. No Krishna Prabhu ki. Yeah. So, we want to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, text 17, text 36 to 41. Is that possible? Okay. 17, 18, 19, 20, excuse me, 36. Yes, 17, 36 to 41. It's really good, the Vedic practice of Swadhyaya. It's not exactly the same as reading. What is the word for reading? Pat, yeah. We have some reading. That's nice. That's good. But Swadhyaya is also very special to recite shlokas every day. It's very good for the mind and for the heart. So, we're reading from this chapter. We're trying to finish now. Chapter 17, 6th canto, text number 36. Let's all recite together. Shri Shukuvacha iti Shrutva Bhagavata Shivashyoma Bibhishitam Babhuva Santadirajan Devi Vigata Vishmaya. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, after hearing a speech by her husband, the goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva, gave up her astonishment at the behavior of King Citraketu and became steady in intelligence. Text number 37. Iti bhagavato debya pratisaptum alantama murdna sa jagrihe sapam etavat sadhu lakshanam. The great devotee, Citraketu, was so powerful, and he was quite competent to curse Mother Parvati in retaliation. But instead of doing so, he very humbly accepted the curse and bowed his head before Lord Shiva and his wife. This is very much to be appreciated as the standard behavior of a Vaishnava. Very nice. Text 38. Yagye tvastu dakshinagno danavim yonamashrita vritya itya vivikyato Jnana Vijnana Samyuta, being cursed by Mother Durga, Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, that same Citraketu accepted birth in a demoniac species of life. Although still fully equipped with transcendental knowledge and practical application of that knowledge in life, he appeared as a demon at the fire sacrifice performed by Tvashta, and thus he became famous as Vritrasura. Text 39. Etate sarvam akyatam yanmam tvam paripritchasi vritashyasura jatescha karanam bhagavan mate. My dear King Parikshit, you inquired from me how Vritrasura, a great devotee, took birth in a demoniac family. Thus, I've tried to explain to you everything about this. Text 40. Itihasam imam punyam Citraketur mahatmana mahatyam vishnu bhaktanam shrutva bandhad vimuchate. Citraketu was a great devotee, Mahatma. If one hears this history of Citraketu from a pure devotee, the listener also is freed from the conditional life of material existence. Text 41. Ya etat prata utaya shradaya vagita patet itihasam harim srantva yati paramam gatim. One who rises from bed early in the morning and recites this history of Citraketu, controlling his words and mind and remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will return home back to Godhead without much difficulty. So we've been discussing this section, very important section of the Bhagavatam. In the Matsya Purana and in a number of different Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned, and one of the definitions or one of the ways that the Srimad Bhagavatam is described is that it's the history of Vritrasura. This pastime is one of the most important pastimes. And as we mentioned the last few days, I'd like to repeat again, what is an essential part of this pastime? Here we find that there's a demon who's a greater devotee than the king of the demigods. than the person who's supposed to be the head of religion, because really that's what the king of the demigods means. And so it's such a wonderful lesson from the Bhagavatam to teach us something about what spiritual life genuinely means, not just some kind of fanatical sectarianism, because my team is the best team, whatever like that. But rather we judge things, we judge people by the qualities that they have. And so we heard how Citraketu was traveling around in the universe for millions of years with a whole bunch of beautiful girls in an airplane that was personally given to him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Life was good. And one day he came across Lord Shiva and Parvati sitting on his lap. And Citraketu, he laughed and he said some words which Parvati didn't take very kindly to. And Citraketu said, "What is this? This is supposed to be Yogeshwar, the king of all the yogis, and here he is with this woman on his lap." In effect, really, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and the other acharyas have said, really, what he was expressing was his astonishment. Lord Shiva is such an amazing person. He didn't at all mean it as any kind of criticism. Rather, he was just astonished. But Parvati, she didn't see it like that. And she certainly wasn't amused. And she became upset with Citraketu, and she cursed him. And Citraketu, he bowed his head and said, "Thank you, Mother." Actually, it says that he stepped off of his airplane. I like that point. Came down off his airplane and accepted that curse. And he addressed Parvati, his mother, and said, "Although I haven't actually done anything wrong," and the proof was that nobody in the assembly got up and walked out. Lord Shiva himself wasn't disturbed. Citraketu told her, "Although I haven't done anything wrong, still, if it makes you feel better, to curse me, then that's good. I accept that, because whatever the Lord sends, it's fine." And Parvati was completely astonished. And then Lord Shiva, he began to preach to her. And he told her a famous verse we recited yesterday. You remember? Narayana parasarve nakutaschana bibyati swagabhavarga narkeshu apitulyat darshanaha. That for someone who's Narayana parasarve, who's always surrendered to Lord Narayan, apitulyat darshana, they see equally liberation, the material existence, hellish planets, heavenly planets, everything's equal to them because they're absorbed in Krishna. So we read up until text number 35 yesterday, and I'd like to read something from that verse again, and this time a little something. I'll just read something from the translation. The magnanimous Citraketu is a dear devotee of the Lord. This is Lord Shiva speaking to Parvati. He's a dear devotee of the Lord. He's equal to all living entities, and he's free from attachment and hatred. Similarly, I'm also dear to Lord Narayan. Therefore, no one should be astonished to see the activities of the most exalted devotees of Narayan, for they are free from attachment and envy. They are always peaceful, and they're equal to everyone. Lord Shiva said, "Aham chaivat chuta priya." He said that I'm also dear to Lord Vishnu. What is the particular point of that? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur pulls this out in a very interesting way. And he says that, in effect, he's telling Citraketu, he's saying something to him. Look, Citraketu, you like to show your bhakti. And although you're attached to all these beautiful girls you're with and things, you like to show that you're a great devotee. You ride in the airplane given by Lord Narayan, and you like to show how much you're a great devotee. He said, but you're deceptive. He said, I also show myself to be controlled by women, and I also act in a deceptive way. But there's a difference between how we behave. You show your bhakti to everyone, and I hide my bhakti from everyone. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes this point. And this is also a very, very beautiful point. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami quotes Samoyan Tantra, where he says that Gopiyat Nija Ishtam, you should hide your Ishtadev. Gopayad Nijamalakam. You should hide your japamala, your process of chanting. Gopayad Gurumatmana. You should hide your Gurudev. Don't advertise. It doesn't mean that you deny your Guru, but it means you don't advertise that with everyone. You don't go everywhere, I'm a disciple of such and such. And people will look, if I did like that, then people would say, my God, what kind of spiritual master is that? And he has such disciples. We should be very humble. Rather, we should, by our own good behavior, we should behave in such a nice way that people will say, wow, who are they initiated by? And that way, we advertise our Guru, not advertising his name and the initiation that we got, which is really all about me, but rather we advertise what he gave me. And he never told me that he appointed me as his representative or anything like that. So this is a very important point. This is also we see in the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, don't be a madman. He said, Anta Nisha Bahya Vyavahar. He said, you do two things. On the inside, you be fixed. And on the outside, you act like you're controlled by your wife and by your family. My Guru Maharaj commented on this. He said that in the brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyas ashram, there's no question of duplicity. And whatever's on the inside has to be the same as on the outside. He said, but for grihastas, especially for grihasta men, there's some allowance for duplicity. Because otherwise, if you show your detachment on the outside, then there's going to be havoc in your family life. Everyone will become very, very disturbed. So we should keep our renunciation on the inside, but show our attachment on the outside. I like to tell grihasta men, it's part of your service. Just as a brahmachari, he's taking shelter of an ashram. Ashraya means shelter. An ashram is a place of shelter. If he's living here in the ashram and there's a leak in the roof, he has to fix the leak. Otherwise, it'll disturb his bhajan, the water falling on his head. So similarly, if you're a grihasta, you have to protect your ashram. Otherwise, it's going to disturb your bhajan. So there's two things every grihasta man should do on a daily basis to protect their ashram. This is very important. Men, please listen. Every day you should tell your wife two things. One, I love you. And number two, you have to tell her, you're beautiful. It's very important. We'll explain that. Because the thing is, if you don't tell her that, someone else might tell her that. And then there's going to be a big disturbance in your ashram, right? Now you know, she knows I'm not my body, I'm just a bag of stool and urine and fleas and whatever nasty things. But ladies like to hear that. And why else would someone get married unless they want to hear that? So it's part of protecting your ashram to speak like that to them. So there's a story that we've heard that on one occasion there was one man who had some sickness and he was coughing up blood. It was really bad. At the same time he had a rash. It was really itchy on his skin. So he went to see an Ayurvedic doctor. The doctor took his pulse and examined him. And the doctor told him that this coughing up the blood, this is very serious. And the rash, that's not so bad. He said, I'll give you two medicines, some white pills and some red pills. You take the white pills and you crush them, mix with some ghee, and you rub that on your skin. And that'll help with the rash. And the red pills you take after a meal with some hot water, and that'll help you with this cough, which is a very serious thing. So you remember, the white pills are for the outside and the red pills are for the inside. And so this fellow wasn't so bright. He walked away saying, yeah, white for the inside, white. And he got a little confused. White's for the inside, red's for the... Anyway, when he got back, he did just the opposite. And he took the red pills and he ground them up and mixed them with ghee and he rubbed it on his skin. And the white pills he took with hot water, and it has a very sad ending because a few days later he died. The story is an allegory that those white pills, that represents our external material life. And we wear that on the outside. The red represents a renunciation. That we should keep on the inside. And in Krishna consciousness, we learn from the example of Raghunath Das Goswami, our Prayojanacharya, that we don't have to worry about changing ashrams or changing this or that. Like, today, should I have pizza or should I have sabji? I'm not really sure. Let me think about it. Which one do I want to have? It's not like we have some choice. We just follow what's given to us by Guru and Krishna. We do our service. And we cultivate attachment to Krishna on the inside. And then the outside, that Krishna takes care of that. As in the case of Raghunath Das Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made arrangements for him. Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to run away and join the Hare Krishna movement. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made some arrangement for him. Because what was on the inside of his heart, that manifested on the outside. Whereas if we do it just the opposite, right? On the outside, we have pakatilak and nice kunti mala, and we wear dhoti every day and shave our head and everything. But on the inside, there's a bad smell. We have so much material attachment. Whatever's on the inside, that's going to come out sooner or later. What's on the inside will come out. So we cultivate bhakti, we cultivate service to Guru and Krishna. And then everything else comes in an automatic way. In the 36th verse of this chapter, here's a nice purport. Srila Prabhupada describes that, the text says what? That Uma, she was very astonished to hear all this from Lord Shiva and to see how detached Citraketu was. And then Prabhupada in his purport, quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that when Parvati remembered her behavior in cursing Citraketu, she became very ashamed and she covered her face with the skirt of her sari, admitting that she was wrong in cursing Citraketu. This is a behavior of a high-class person. A low-class person will never accept that they did anything wrong. And if you somehow can prove to them that, well, what you said is actually wrong, and then just say, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Because it is so very, very attached. But a high-class person, they have some humility and some shame. So Parvati's teaching us that. She covered her head. In the 37th verse, it describes, Iti bhagavato devya pratisaptum malantama murdnasa jagrihe sapam etavat sadulakshanam. Sadulakshanam. The statement, etavat sadulakshanam, is important in this verse. This is the behavior of a Vaishnava. Etavat sadulakshanam. This is the qualities of a devotee. Prabhupada translates this verse. A great devotee, Citraketu, was so powerful that he was competent to curse Mother Parvati in retaliation. But instead of doing so, he very humbly accepted the curse and bowed his head before Lord Shiva and his wife. This is very much to be appreciated as a standard behavior of a Vaishnava. And this is the real test of a Vaishnava. The test isn't just how many Mangal Artiks do you make it to, or how many days do you put your tilak on. That's also good. We should do like that. But the real test comes when someone comes and pokes you in the eye with a stick. When someone says some bad thing about you. We were discussing this morning, someone writes something bad about you on Facebook. And oh my God, you can't sleep at night. And for days, I've seen people, they're waking up every 2 or 3 hours at night to see, did they make any more comments? And they're arguing back and forth like this. So that's not the standard of a Vaishnava. That's not the qualities of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is very, very tolerant. And a Vaishnava doesn't want to fight back with anyone. They're not interested in cursing someone back. Although Citraketu, as we heard yesterday, that Citraketu is actually more powerful than Uma, more powerful than Parvati. Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says it. He says that Lord Shiva was telling us to Parvati, just see, you cursed him, you showed your strength. He said, but the strength of your beauty, she's the original Miss Universe, right? The strength of your beauty has been eclipsed by the strength of Citraketu Maharaj's devotion. Prabhupada writes in his purport, this verse, being protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee is always powerful, but a devotee does not wish to show his power unnecessarily. However, when a less intelligent person has some power, he wants to use it for sense gratification. This is not the behavior of a devotee. A devotee is someone who hides those qualities. And therefore we say that Vaishnavanam Yuta Shambhu, that Lord Shiva, he's the greatest devotee because he doesn't seem like a devotee at all. He seems like some strange kind of guy. I mean, we were speaking yesterday how Bhrigu Muni, his brother, told him, stay away from me, please don't touch me. You need a bath. You've got ashes from dead bodies all over your body. You've got snakes, cobras, and scorpions and different things all over your body. You've got bones around your neck and skulls. Would you like to hug someone like that? No. But actually, Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee. And those snakes, that's Anantasesh, our acharyas have described. And the ashes that he smears on his body, those are the ashes from the dead bodies of great Vaishnavas. He's such an exalted person, he doesn't hesitate to take the ashes of some exalted person and smear them all over his body. And similarly, the bones and skulls that he keeps on his body are also from some different great Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva is such an exalted personality, but he doesn't look like it. In the Padma Purana, there's a discussion between Parvati and Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is telling her that you should watch out, stay away from demons. And Parvati said, okay, how do I understand who's a demon? Lord Shiva said, well, you can see by the way they dress. She said, what's that? He said, well, they wear animal skins, and they have bones they put around their body, and they wear 3 lines across their forehead. And Parvati's listening to all that. And in a very humble, sweet way, she says, my dear husband, that's the way you dress. How do I understand that? And so then Lord Shiva begins to explain to her this section which we know from Chaitanya Charitamrita. You may know this verse, Mayavadam Ashachastram Prachanam Bodhamuchate, which is spoken by Lord Shiva to Parvati. He said that in the age of Kali, I come and I speak covered Buddhism. I come as Shankaracharya. And so he explained to her a very interesting pastime. I'm getting a little sidetracked now. I don't want to get too far into this. We printed this in one of our magazines about Lord Shiva. That he said that Lord Vishnu one day, he called for Lord Shiva and he said, Shiva, there's a problem. Lord Shiva said, what's the problem? He said, the problem is that the demons are practicing bhakti. Lord Shiva said, that's a problem? I said, yes, it's a big problem. I remember when I read it, I thought, uh-oh, I'm a demon, and I'm practicing bhakti, I'm trying. How is this? So Lord Vishnu explained to him, because if the demons practice bhakti for the sake of getting money, for the sake of getting some beautiful woman, for the sake of getting some material power, because you can get all of those things by practicing bhakti, if the demons are doing like that, then people are going to criticize the Vaishnavas. People will minimize bhakti. So we need to do something to uphold this prestige of bhakti. My revered spiritual master, he told us once, he said, we should work to help uphold the prestige of Prabhupada's mission. He said the best way to do that is to have nice Krishna Katha and nice Vaishnava dealings. We should work to uphold the prestige of the Vaishnavas and of bhakti. So he told Lord Shiva, he said, I have a job for you. And Lord Shiva said, yes, boss, what do you want me to do? He said, well, I want you to go around and preach atheism. I want you to bewilder all the demoniac persons and get them to follow you and do all kinds of crazy, weird stuff and take them away from bhakti. Lord Shiva said, I got it, boss. And he didn't hesitate. He just started doing that. And he mentions in that section, very interestingly, he said that he told Parvati, he said, you may wonder how it is that I could maintain my purity. You may think it's hard going to the office, going to the work, and maintaining our purity when all these people, they don't have tilak on, they're not vegetarians at school. Is everybody a vegetarian at school? Yes? They're all vegetarians at school? No. Oh, you're homeschooling. So everybody at school is a vegetarian, right? They're also devotees. That's very good. You go to good. What about you two? Everybody's a vegetarian in your school, Gita? No. Do they do kirtan during recess together? No, you should start them. Tell them to do like that. Be like Prahlad Maharaj. So we think sometimes it's really tough for us to go to the job, to go to school. Gita Priya has a hard life. And associate with all these non-devotees in that. But think of what Lord Shiva, what it's like for him. Because we feel that if I have to go to school and associate with these people, I have to go to the job and associate with all these non-devotees, I'm going to become contaminated. We become afraid of that, isn't it? We're afraid. I'm going to become contaminated. I'm going to forget about Krishna. I may fall down. What to speak of Lord Shiva? He puts on Tripundra and some skulls and ashes all over his body and starts speaking Mayavad philosophy to everyone. So he explained to Parvati how he maintains his purity. And the answer is the same thing we mentioned before. Antarnishta bahir vyavahar. On the outside, I do one thing. But on the inside, he said, I'm always chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. And because I'm always chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, I maintain my purity. And all these other things that I'm doing, it doesn't affect me. So, Srila Prabhupada, he says that a devotee is always powerful, but he doesn't want to show his power. That's a very, very wonderful thing. Most people in this world, they want to show whatever little power they have. In fact, most of the time they don't have any power, but they just want to pretend and act like they have something. They want to pretend that they can magically turn on the light outside the house with their hand. When they don't have any magic at all. Do you know anybody who does like that, Gita Priya? No? Okay. So, in the 38th verse, there's an interesting comment. Prabhupada writes in his purport, he says, although Brittasura appeared in a family of demons, it's clearly said that his knowledge of spiritual life still existed. Jnana vijnana samyuta. His spiritual knowledge and his practical application of that knowledge in life were not lost. Therefore it is said that even if a devotee falls down for some reason, he's still not lost. Really, for a devotee, there's no question of fall down. Srila Prabhupada writes in one purport, he says that there's no question of anyone falling down from the spiritual world. I know it's a little controversial, but Prabhupada says this in one purport. There's no question of anyone falling down. And he says when someone does fall down, they come like Jai and Vijay do. And they appear as Hiranyaksha or Hiranyakashipu. They come for some purpose to serve the Lord. So Prabhupada's making a similar point here. And there's no question of a devotee falling down. There's no question of a devotee losing his spiritual knowledge. Prabhupada writes, once one is advanced in devotional service, his spiritual assets are never lost under any circumstances. Whatever spiritual advancement he's achieved continues. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. So there's no question. Whatever we've acquired in a spiritual sense, that'll never be lost. But we should understand also, there's a difference, Jiva Goswami speaks in Bhakti Sandarbha, between Agyata Sukriti and Gyata Sukriti and Bhakti. There's three different things. And an example can be given of the crow that broke its wing and couldn't fly. And a dog started chasing it, and the crow couldn't fly, and the dog's coming after. He's got a big problem. So the crow started running, and the crow ran around the temple, and the dog ran after him. And finally the dog caught the crow, and we don't want to tell that part of the story, but the crow left his body. But because the crow was circumambulating the temple, he went to a place called Prapanchika Vaikuntha, which is a Vaikuntha planet in the material universe, and he stayed there for 100 years or so with Lord Vishnu But he couldn't go to the spiritual world because he was doing agyata sukriti. Although he was doing some kind of spiritual life, and therefore on the basis of that, he got this association with the Lord in prapanchika Vaikuntha, because it wasn't intentional, and because he didn't have devotion, how can he go to the spiritual world? It was just an accident that this happened to this crow, but a very fortunate accident, agyata sukriti. And because of that association, then in prapanchika Vaikuntha for 100 years or so with Lord Vishnu, that former cat took birth again, and this birth became a king. But he was Jatasmara. He could remember his previous birth. And he was very, very attached to circumambulating temples in his next life. But that activity was different than the activity of the crow. Because as the crow, that activity was agyata sukriti, some unknowing benefit. But as a king, it was gyata sukriti, some knowing benefit. He understood what he was doing and why he was doing it. And that gyata sukriti leads to bhakti, and therefore the Puranas describe that when that king left his body, after doing that gyata sukriti, then paramam padam, he achieved that topmost abode from which no one falls down. So, Prabhupada confirms this again and again, that for a devotee, there's no question of them falling down. Then there's an interesting statement in the 40th verse of this chapter, Itihasam imam punyam Citraketu mahatmana mahatyam Vishnu bhaktanam shrutva bandad vimuchyate. The word Vishnu bhaktanam, Prabhupada translates from the devotees of Vishnu. It doesn't say they were Mahatmas, it doesn't say they were Sudha Bhaktas, it just says Vishnu bhaktanam. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur notes that if you ask someone for water, it means pure water. If you ask, please can you give me a glass of water? Well, sure. And you go out in the ditch and fill up their cup. Here you go, there's some water. That's not what I wanted. But you just said, give me some water. No. When I ask for water, it means pure water. So similarly, Vishnu Bhakta means a pure devotee. Prabhupada translates this. He says that if one hears this history of Citraketu from a pure devotee, the listener is also freed from the conditional life of material existence. And in his purport, Prabhupada writes, about halfway through the purport, he says, anything about devotional service or the characteristics of the Lord and his devotees must be heard from a devotee, not from a professional reciter. Sometimes in our culture today, for the first time in the history of Vaishnavism, we have a new idea. I don't need a guru. I'll just read the book. That was never a dilemma prior to this age of Kali. There's a famous story, who was it? Kuresh, one of the disciples of Ramanuja, who's a very, very learned devotee, very amazing devotee, very, very elevated. He came to his Guru Maharaj one day and he said, Guru Maharaj, could you please explain to me the Charama Shloka, most important verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is what? Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityagya Mamekam Sharanam Braja Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Yashyami Ma Sutra. These kids are really good. She knows the whole 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That's why she's Gita Priya. So he asked his guru, could you please explain that to me? And Ramanuja said, sure, but first you're going to have to, for 5 years, you're going to have to go and beg alms and live a very, very austere life, and then you'll be able to understand it. And Kuresh, he said, well, Guru Maharaj, that's a long time. I may leave my body. He said, can you just give me something instant, add water and shake? Instant mix, explanation of the verse. And Ramanuja said, well, okay, if for 6 months you don't know where you're going to get your next meal, and you just beg door to door, if you do that for 6 months and you come to me and I'll explain the verse to you. Today we would think, what is the use of all that? I'll just go to Google, right? www.google.com. I'll type that in, and the Google Guru will give me everything. I can answer all my questions. We have no patience. I'm going to wait for 6 months to understand one verse. What's the point of that? I can read the purport. Quresh could also read the purport. There were different commentaries on the Gita. He could read all of those, but it's not the same. It's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Lord Shiva. He says, Aham vedmi shuka vedi vyasa vedi navedi va bhaktya bhagavatam grayam nabuddhya nachatikaya. How do you understand this Srimad Bhagavatam? Nabuddhya nachatikaya. Not by dint of your intelligence. You may be a big Sanskrit scholar. Sometimes I give the example. I was once invited to give a lecture at a Pandal program in Orissa, and they had, the governor of Orissa was invited, and there was about 25,000 people present at the program. So they sent a car for us. And when I got in the car, there was another speaker in the car there already, and he was a Sanskrit professor. And that man was amazing. Probably he knew more verses than maybe all the ISKCON devotees put together. I mean, as a young boy, he'd memorized the entire Gita, as a young boy. And he knew, it seemed like hundreds of verses from the Bhagavatam. He was quoting verses to me from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and from Vidagdha Madhav, and Lita Madhav, and Ujjwal Nilamani, and he was really amazing. Amazing person. And as we were going in the car, he started revealing some very esoteric things to me. He actually told me, he said that actually eating fish is very good. It's good for the brain. And he was also very attached to smoking cigarettes and that. So what's the value of that person? Just like we were reading, and Prabhuji gave me this book. Who's the scholar's name? Do you remember? A book on Vidagdha Madhav.
Yes,
Donna Wolf. You would be interested in this. She wrote a very nice scholarly presentation, did her thesis on art and poetry, drama, and Rupa Goswami's Vidagdha Madhav. And a very nice presentation. I was delighted looking in the acknowledgments in the front of the book that I either knew personally or knew of half of the people that she went to, different scholars and sadhu Vaishnavas. And she gave a list of bibliography of the books that she'd gone through, and I also was very familiar with the particular edition and the publisher of many of them. She really had some good sources. But when I'm reading through, and she said something about the 6 Goswamis, and there's a footnote, endnote. So I go to the endnote, and she gives a definition for Goswami. He said a Goswami is someone who owns a lot of cows, is in control of a lot of cows. Right? That's very sweet, isn't it? He's a Swami of the cows. Linguistically, it's correct. But we've never heard of Rupa Goswami that he had like 50 cows and something like that, or Sanatan Goswami. It's actually a big mistake, a very big mistake, what she made. Why is that mistake there? Although she's a very intelligent person and very learned, she's not approached sadhu. She doesn't have Shravana Adhikar, what Ramanuja in his Gita Bhashya calls a qualification to hear. That qualification to hear comes from pranipat, pariprashna, and seva. Those 3 things. We should submit ourselves, inquire submissively, and render service to both the message and the speaker of the message. Then we can understand it. So Srila Prabhupada indicates that here. He says anything about devotional service or the characteristics of the Lord and His devotees must be heard from a devotee, not from a professional reciter. And what to speak of reading the book, even if you hear the book from a professional reciter, it's not the same. This is advised herein. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's secretary also advised that one learn the history of Srimad Bhagavatam from a devotee, Jahu Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavera Stani. One should not hear the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam from professional reciters, or else they will not be effective. Jiva Goswami speaks about this in Bhakti Sandarbha. There's a whole science of hearing. It's a very, very deep thing. He says that in the beginning, it's kind of like Kitri. We hear from many, many different people, like in our ISKCON Bhagavatam classes. In the Gita class in the evening, everybody takes their turn. We heard from Nittai the other day, very nice class. We hear from so many different devotees, and that's good. It's a nice thing. But he says, but after some time, we'll come in contact with some Vaishnav who the way they speak, oh, I really like it. And we want to be Anubhav. We want to follow in the mood of that Vaishnava. We're not just wanting to collect some information. Wow, that guy's really got all the verses and got all the information. I'm going to take a lot of notes and collect a lot of stuff. But we like the mood of that particular person. And Jiva Goswami says that generally that person becomes our guru. And we start hearing more from that person. It doesn't mean that now we don't hear from anybody else. Srila Prabhupada wanted devotees, wanted a community spirit. He wanted to create a community in our ISKCON society based around Srimad Bhagavatam, based around so many different devotees coming together and speaking, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So that should be there. But at the same time, we're not impersonalists. It's not just, if somebody says, if you ask somebody, well, who's your best friend? If I ask you, who's your best friend? Krishna. Wow, that's quick. You're pretty close with him, huh? Yeah, okay, that's good. Huh? If you ask somebody who's your best friend, you say, I don't have a best friend. I like everybody equally. What does that mean? It means you have no friends. It's something impersonal. If I like everything equally, it means you don't really like anything. Because when you really like something, vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana, you become really one-pointed with that thing. And this is a very important principle in bhakti. We also want to hear from Sadhu Guru. Srila Prabhupada, he spoke in one lecture in Bombay then, in I think it was 1976 or 77. And Prabhupada said that some people say, what is the use of accepting a guru? I'll just read the book. And Prabhupada said, of course, they have a very bad experience. That's word for word what Prabhupada said. When I read that transcription, I thought, wow, Prabhupada predicted the future. He could really see. Huh? What's the use of accepting a guru? I'll just read the book. And Prabhupada said, they may read Bhagavad Gita 100 times, they may read it 1,000 times, but they won't understand a single word because they've not approached. Krishna, in the Adi Purana, he tells Arjuna, Ye me bhakta jana parta, na me bhaktas tate jana, mad bhaktanam chaye bhaktas te me bhakta tamomata. That person who says he's my devotee, that person who says that Krishna is my best friend, Krishna says, I don't know who he is. He's not talking about you. But that person who's a devotee of my devotee, he's my real devotee. And this is how we approach Krishna. This is how we approach Krishna directly. We put our Gurudev in front of us. We don't just go and, yo, Krishna, how's it going? Yo, dude, let me shake your hand, you know. And good job with them gopis you done, you know. And what do we put our Gurudev in front. We're such coarse animals. We don't know how to go to Krishna. And so, Atashri Krishna Namadi Nabhavegrayam Indriyai. Krishna's in his form. Krishna's also in his name. He's in Shastra. We can't directly approach him. Therefore, Sevanmukhi Jiva Do. Sevanmukhi, we have to render service. We serve the holy name. We serve Gurudev. Tate Krishna Bhaji Kori Guru Sevan. Our Guru Seva is our Krishna Bhajan. My Krishna Bhajan is my Guru Seva. Not that I'm so powerful, I'm chanting japa very intently. And Krishna's dancing in the Ras Lila with the gopis, and all of a sudden he stops. And Radharani says, what is it? Madhavananda is chanting japa. I have to, no, it doesn't work like that. We're not so powerful, but we're doing this as a service for Gurudev. And Gurudev may hear that. And if Gurudev is pleased with our nam-bhajan, with our chanting, he has good connections. And this is our parampara system. He'll take us to that right person. So Jiva Goswami, he says, in general about this, there's two types of speakers. There's a sarag vakta and the nirag vakta. A speaker who's sarag, who has attachment to material things. And a speaker who's nirag, he has no material attachment. And Jiva Goswami says the words of the sarag vakta, they don't penetrate the heart. They just give us a headache. trying to remember all those things that he said. But the words of the Nirag Vakta, that penetrates our heart. And that is a kind of katha that we hear from Gurudev. So then we may say, well, if we pass a rule here in the temple, only from now on, only Nirag Vaktas can speak Bhagavatam class. Only Srivas Prabhu can give class. Right? And how will Srivas Prabhu feel? Will you show up to give class if we make a rule? Only Nirag. He's going to go on vacation to India. He won't come back for a while. That's not me. I'm not qualified. So then what are we doing? There's a very interesting statement in Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto. Bahu murtyeka murtikam. Krishna's Advaya Tattva, right? He's one. Is he one? But in Dwarka, he expands himself in the form of 16,108 forms with all the gopis. How is he one? He's one, but he's not one. Bahu murtyeka murtikam. Krishna's Advaya Tattva, he's one, but he becomes many, and still he's one. It's very confusing. Like in the Ras Lila, or like in Dwarka. And in his commentary, Sartadarshani, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, Chinmay namanat viprekam abhipretam. That in the same way that Krishna's Advaya Tattva, he's one, but becomes many, so also is Krishna Nam, so also is Krishna Katha. It's one, but it becomes many. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada stressed, again and again, just repeat what you've heard. Don't add, don't subtract. You just repeat what you've heard. And it doesn't belong to you then. And we've experienced this. When you go out for book distribution, you may say something very simple. You know, you're not your body. We think that's a pretty simple thing. But for some people, that's like, wow. It can blow their mind. And we've seen that sometimes. They say, it changes their life. And then they take the book and they become a devotee. Well, you think, wow, just see, I'm so powerful. I said this, but did it belong to you? It doesn't belong to you. You heard that from Srila Prabhupada. You heard that from your Gurudev. You heard that from the Vaishnavas. It doesn't belong to you. We're just repeating. And we should be very careful how we repeat. And therefore, that's our class. We want to quote authority. We want to quote Shastra. And Shastra doesn't mean English translations. Shastra means Sanskrit or Bengali. We should quote that authority. And by doing it, that's not our words. And those words are so powerful, they're so beautiful. Just by hearing them, people make advancement. So Rupa Vishwanath says, Chinmayinam nanat vipaikyam abhipretam. He says, this is commentary on Bahu murtika murtikam, that Krishna is one, but he becomes many. Vishwanath says, in the same way, Krishna is one. You may hear one name from Gurudev, Gopakumar. He was taking bath one day in the Jamuna River, and he met this really weird, crazy guy. He was a Hare Krishna devotee. And this devotee just came up, embraced him, and said, chant this mantra. Oh my God. And told Gopakumar this mantra, didn't even explain it, and he just left. And Gopakumar said, that's pretty far out. Okay, all right, I'll do it. So he started chanting the mantra. Didn't even know what it meant, right? And what happened? Baba. He went to Swargalok, Mahalok, Janalok, Tapalok, Indralok, Shivalok, Brahmalok, Brahmalok, Shivalok. He went to Vaikuntha, he went to Ayodhya, he went to Dwarka. He went all over the place. Just on the strength of chanting that mantra. That, wow, it's a pretty good mantra. So that mantra was one mantra. He heard one name from his Gurudev. But that one name became many. Just like Krishna's Advaya, he's one, but he becomes many. So Gurudev may just speak to you one Krishna Katha. You may associate with a sadhu who's a very, very deep person. And they may just say one thing, and maybe a simple thing. You're not your body. The environment is always friendly. He may say one simple thing, but because his words are so realized, it pierces the heart, and it'll change your life. That one thing, and then it becomes many, because you may repeat it. again and again and again. So this is our Krishna Katha. What is it? Third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Dev. Satam prasangam mamavirya samvido bhavanti ritkarna risayana katha. He says that satam prasangam, we want to hear from a satjana, from a pure devotee. But another meaning of that phrase is that we want to hear pure katha, something that's not changed. And therefore we have an obligation. My Guru Maharaj used to say that Sadhu Guru, he speaks Sabda Brahma. That's the function of Sadhu Guru. It's realized. Brahmani, what is it? Upasamashrayam? 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. I should know that one. Anyway, so what is it? Anyway, it's not coming to my mind. That one should hear from some personality who's realized. And that penetrates our heart. And then what do you do after he spoke to you? He says, now you speak. You speak. You give class sometime? Yes, okay, maybe I'll come. Maybe they'll... Shabde parichanishnatam brahmanupashamashrayam. Thank you. Shabde parichanishnatam. Brahmanupashamashrayam. Shabde parichanishnatam. They're fixed in sound, in shabde. And it's realized sound. Right? It's not a theoretical thing for them. They're actually seeing abhinat phenomenamino, how Krishna is non-different from his name. They've realized that. And when we hear from that person, what does that person tell us to do? Now you speak. But what do we speak? We just repeat what we've heard. And that kirtan of the disciple, my Guru Maharaj used to say, that's another meaning of shravan. It's another type of hearing. Our kirtan is another type of shravan, another type of hearing. Because I'm just repeating what I've heard. And I'm speaking it for my benefit. Not that I'm here to give everybody a great blessing because I'm such a great person. It's for my benefit. So, this section of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada finishes, I'd like to read one more sentence. Prabhupada says, one must be a bona fide devotee, and then he can preach and impress devotional service upon his listeners. So what does it mean to be a bona fide devotee? Some people will say, well, Prabhu, it means that you're a premi bhakta. Okay, I would accept that. That's definitely a bona fide speaker. And that's definitely our goal. That's really what we want. But another meaning is that someone is a bona fide devotee who's attached to his Gurudev and just wants to do service for Gurudev. And maybe they have no qualification themselves to speak, but Gurudev has told them, and that's their qualification. Teni Brahma Hridaya Adhikave Muyanti Asurya. Lord Brahma received instruction in the heart from Krishna. And along with that instruction, he told him, you create everything. Along with that instruction came the power to do it. When we get some instruction from Gurudev, also comes the power to execute that. But we should remember what our position is. We should remember where we came from. And there's different perspectives of seeing this pastime, understanding this pastime of Citraketu, as we mentioned yesterday. In one place, Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas say that Citraketu was proud. And because of that, he criticized Lord Shiva. And other places it says that he was just amazed at Lord Shiva and he wasn't criticizing him at all. So the question came yesterday, which one of those is correct? Well, both of them are correct. It depends on the angle of vision that we're looking at it from. So we should understand that we have some position, like Citraketu. We've heard from Sadhu Guru. Citraketu, as we mentioned, he got mantra from Narad Muni, and in 1 week, by the strength of that mantra, he saw the Lord. We've also gotten mantra from Gurudev. We have some strength of something. But we should learn from this pastime to be very careful and not become impudent, as we were speaking about yesterday, and how Indra became impudent. We should not become impudent, but we should always remember where we came from. our fallen position. And we understand from this section of the Bhagavatam also, there's a few verses before, where Parvati goes on for 3 or 4 verses telling her husband that, who does this guy think he is? He thinks he's better than Lord Brahma, he thinks he's better than the 4 Kumaras, thinks he's better than all the Sapta Rishis, all of whom give so much respect to you and give respect to me. This guy somehow now he's gone above all of them. We should be very, very careful. So this chapter finishes with text 41. Ya itat prata utaya shridayavag yata patet itihasam harim smitva sayati paramam gatim. One who rises from bed early in the morning and recites this history of Citraketu, controlling his words and mind, and remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will return home back to Godhead without difficulty. So, thus end the Bhaktivedanta Purports of the 6th canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Mother Parvati Curses Citraketu. So we did it. We finished one chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, studying on this. So I'd like to now try to say a few things that are in connection with this pastime, things which remind us. The Bhagavatam itself describes it, Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada. If you want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, this is one of the chapter shloki verses of the Bhagavatam, you should do so Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam in 2 different ways, either directly and indirectly. We should look at it from different angles of vision, as we were just mentioning. And so this pastime has a lot of very important significance for us, because Citraketu, he didn't have any animosity. He was just being simple. In fact, he was trying to glorify Lord Shiva. Wow, it's amazing. Just see how detached he is. He's sitting with Miss Universe on his lap, with all these sadhu rishis around him, and he's completely detached. What an amazing thing. That was, in effect, his intention. But what was heard by Parvati was something else. So this teaches us this principle we mentioned yesterday, before you take prasadam in a Gaudiya Mutt temple or in some Goswami temple, Tota Gopinath temple, they always say at the beginning, Sadhu Sabadan. My dear devotees, be careful. Be careful how we deal with other devotees. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, Narahari Chakravarti Thakur, he tells us, Bhaktastane Sabadana Habe Sarva Mate Jaina Kona Okashola Nahi Tanra Chiti Bolo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Bhaktastani. Bhaktastani means how you deal with your stan, how you deal with the devotees. Sabadan. Be careful, be very careful how you deal with the devotees. Habe sarva mate. You always be very careful in your mind. Jaina kona akoshla nahi tanra chitte. Don't ever create any ill feelings in the hearts of the devotees. Be very, very careful not to hurt their feelings. Akoshala haile sabahoya andarai prasanga paya kichu kahi he etai bolo Hare Krishna. He said that if you akoshala, if you create ill feelings with the devotees, then it's going to cause problems for you. You're going to have difficulties on your spiritual path. And we've seen this so many times with so many devotees who want to be argumentative, who want to try to control everyone and correct everyone, and chastise everyone, generally everyone except themselves. And such devotees, they have lots of problems in their spiritual life. We've seen so many of such devotees, and many of them, who knows where they are today? Many of them are gone. So, Narahari Chakravarti, in his Bhakti Ratnakar, he tells us this, and then he says that, okay, I want to give some example, because we like to hear some stories, isn't it? I mean, just a lot of philosophy. It's a little boring. Is it true? Yes? Yeah, it's a little boring. It's true, I know. It's really not easy, is it? To be a kid and you have to go to the class. Otherwise the parents, they chastise you, right? Yeah. You have to sit in the class and it's all this really boring stuff and you feel like, I'm going to die. I'm just going to die. I know. When I was young, they used to make me go to church. I hated it. But church was better than the temple. Because in the church, you got to sit in these chairs, and I got very expert. Sleeping while I was sitting. And what they were saying was so... I don't even know what they said. I can't tell you anything. I couldn't remember any of it. It was useless for me. But at least I got to sleep a little bit. But you guys can't even sleep, right? It's tough. So we'd like to tell you a story anyway, okay? So don't be upset with this, okay? All right? So one day in Vrindavan, and you may have heard this story before, but you can hear it again. It's okay? It's a very nice story. One day in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami was sitting and chanting japa. How many rounds a day was Rupa Goswami chanting? Do you know? Does anybody know? We don't know. And how many rounds a day was Haridas Thakur chanting? He was chanting 3 lakhs a day. But Rupa Goswami, we don't really know. Maybe he was only chanting 1 round a day. How many rounds do you chant? 16. That's really good. Haribo. Gita Priya. You're older than him, right? We won't ask you. It's okay. She's always chanting. Unlimited numbers of rounds. So Rupa Goswami, maybe he was only chanting 1 round. Maybe he was only chanting 1 name. And that's it. But when he would chant that 1 name, something happened. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Harinam Chintamani, Name prasvatito hai rupa guna karma. From that 1 name, all of a sudden, Krishna is right in front of you. And you can see his form. Does that happen to you when you chant japa? No? Maybe it will. So, Nami prasvatito hai rupa guna karma. Comes Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, and Krishna's pastimes. Just from that holy name. It's a very, very amazing thing. So Rupa Goswami, his japa was a little different. When he started chanting, he would have some Lila spurti. Suddenly everything would disappear, and he wouldn't be in school anymore. It's pretty cool, Gita Priya. You should try for this. Okay? He wasn't in work anymore. Suddenly he was in the spiritual world. And he was seeing something happening. There's a wonderful pastime. He saw all the gopis. This pastime's told in little different ways in different places. I'm just telling you as it's given in Bhakti Ratnakar right now. He saw the gopis were decorating Radharani. They were combing her hair. They're putting pearls in her hair and painting her face in different ways. Very, very beautiful. Sometimes after they wash Radharani's hair, they take some very fragrant incense, smoke, and they use it to dry Radharani's hair. There's no hair dryer. They dry her hair with that, and very, very nice. And while all this was going on, there was someone standing behind Radharani, watching all that. Do you know who that was? Krishna. And Rupa Goswami, he saw that. The gopis, they also saw Krishna standing there and watching. And this is a pastime where? In Kusum Sarovar. Krishna standing behind Srimati Radharani and watching while they're doing her hair and things. And the gopis, they decided to have a little fun with Srimati Radharani. So they said, hey Radhe, you want to see how we've decorated you? Yes, yes. So they held up a mirror in front of Radharani's face. And Radharani could see all they did nice, but she could see just behind her Krishna. And all the gopis started laughing. And when Rupa Goswami saw this, he also started laughing. He's chanting japa. This is his japa. Maybe 1 name. And he sees this wonderful thing. This is what we're aspiring for. We should always remember this. Don't aspire to be like Indra, a great religionist, but aspire to really have something. As we were mentioning the other day, Citraketu, this was his prayer. This was a prayer of Vitrasura. And Jiva Goswami in Priti Sandarbha, he quotes this verse And he says this is proof that Vritrasura his bhakti was not touched by the fact that he took birth as an asura. And what is that verse? We said it the other day. Ajata paksha iva mataram kagastanyam yata vatsatarakshudharta priyam priyeva vyushitam vishana manora vindaksha didrikshate tvam. And we mentioned Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that this verse, we should recite this every day before we chant our japa. This is our prayer. Ajata paksha iva mataram kaga, just like a bird. Remember, we were speaking the other day, a baby bird that can't fly yet. When the mother goes away, that baby bird really wants to see the mother because he can't do anything. He's going to die. He has no food. He has no way to fly. He can't get out of the nest. He can't fly away. He's really wanting to see the mother. Ajata paksha iva mataram stanyam yata vatsatarak shudarta. In the same way that a baby calf wants that nourishment from his mother, priyam priyeva vyushitam vishana. In the same way that a lady misses her husband who's gone away to a foreign country and she's crying and crying, I want to see him again. Manora vindaksha dajikshate tvam. My dear Lord, aside the Lord. In the same way, I want to see you. This is the difference between love and religion. In love, I want to see that person. You don't worship your sweetheart or your husband, your lover, with some incense and just, yeah, that's my husband. Push the picture away or something in some formal way. But it's a very intense thing with your heart. We give our heart to that. So there's a difference between mechanical religion and genuine spiritual life. We're not interested in mechanical religion, the mechanical religion of Indra. He's such a good devotee in so many ways. Indri vyakalam lokam hridayanti yuge yuge. Krishna comes again and again to protect him. But he's defeated by a demon, Vritrasura. Vritrasura is a greater devotee than him. Indra wants to be a very good religionist and he wants to be in charge of everything. But Vritrasura, he wants to see Krishna. That's his burning desire. And that's our movement. And we should never forget it. The day that we forget that our purpose is to love Krishna, that we want to see Krishna directly, the day that we forget that and we just start placing stress on the external things, 16 of these, 4 of these, 4:30 this time, this thing, then we'll become religionists, mechanical religionists. And it's a good religion. And he also getting so much piety is very, very nice. But it's not exactly what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. It's not what we're learning from this chapter, in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, how Vritrasura was a greater devotee than Indra. So Rupa Goswami, he started laughing at that time. All the gopis were laughing. Just at that time, according to the local tradition in Vrindavan, Obiel Kapoor mentions this, there was a sadhu whose name was Krishna Das. And some say that he was lame, he couldn't walk. Krishna Das showed up at that time at Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir. And Rupa Goswami, as soon as this sadhu came to the ashram, he couldn't walk, some say. He was dragging himself. Some say that he came in the ashram and he drug himself around Tulsi. He couldn't walk. He's lame. So he drug himself around Tulsi Devi. And then just at that moment, Rupa Goswami said, laughing and laughing. And that Krishna Das, he thought, what is this? I heard Rupa Goswami was a great Vaishnava, a great Mahatma, but he's laughing at me because I can't walk. So he became very, very unhappy. And he left that place. And later he met with Sanatana Goswami. And he mentioned to Sanatana Goswami, I went to see your little brother, Rupa, and everybody says he's such a great Vaishnava, but I'm sorry, the guy's really in the bodily conception of life. He saw me and just started laughing at me. And I felt very, very sad about this. So then Sanatana Goswami, he understood what had happened. And he explained to Krishna Das why Rupa Goswami was laughing like that. And then Krishnadas felt better. But meanwhile, Rupa Goswami, suddenly, his Lila Spurti had disappeared. He couldn't see Krishna anymore. He couldn't see Radha. And what's going on? What did I do? What did I do? And he went to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami said, you made some offense to the Vaishnava. You have to beg for his forgiveness. So both devotees became very, very humble. And they realized, oh, I committed some mistake. And they begged forgiveness from each other. And Narahari Chakravarti, he concludes this section in Bhakti Ratnakar by just telling us, Oh hey bhai Vaishnavete sabadana habe prana pana kori aparadha kshamayibe bolo Hare Krishna. You know, if you have something really heavy to tell someone, right? Prabhuji, we saw you eating prasadam in the bathroom. It's very bad. So I come and I put my arm around you and I say, my dear brother, I speak in a very sweet way. So this is what Narahari Chakravarti Thakur is doing. He has something strong to tell us. So he says, oh hey bye, first of all. Oh hey bye. My dear brother, please listen to what I have to say. Vaishnaveti sabadana habe. From now on, you be very, very careful in your dealings with the Vaishnavas. Prana pana kori aparadik shamayibe. You should beg their forgiveness for any offense with your heart and your soul. It's not a small thing to commit offense to a Vaishnava. Vaishnavera dosha drishte habe sabadan nirantara kori be Vaishnavera gunagan bolo Hare Krishna. He said, be very careful. Habe sabadan. Again, that word sabadan. Be careful. Vaishnavera dosha drishte. Don't see the faults of a Vaishnava. If there's some fault, don't see it. Don't see faults in your guru, because if you see it, it'll hurt your heart. Oh, I thought he was, oh, now I'm disappointed. He's really not such a great person. And then, just like a Ming vase that you drop on the ground and you break into 1,000 pieces, you may apologize. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to knock over your vase, you know. Here, I'll put it back together again. Maybe you can, but it's never going to be the same. There's always going to be all kinds of cracks and different things in it. It's always going to be much, much more fragile. But we should be very, very careful with our faith. And don't worry. You may say, but if I don't look for people's faults, I may get cheated. Because there have been so many cheaters, there's been so many bogus people. Okay. But understand, Krishna will protect us. Because that person, if he's doing something, it's so bad, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, that person is just like Putana. That false guru is like Putana, who's coming, acting like a mother, but really trying to kill all the babies with poison. And Krishna becomes furious. And he'll personally come and he'll kill that baby. And all of Braj, no one understood, no one recognized Putana. Mother Yashoda didn't recognize Putana. What to speak of the GBC? Mother Yashoda didn't recognize. Rohini didn't recognize. They thought she was a great devotee. And all of Braj, only one person recognized Putana. Who was that? It was a little baby. Krishna. We have to depend on Krishna. And Krishna will take care. In this matter, this Guru Tattva, depend on Krishna. Don't depend on the temple authorities and the administration, this and that. They're doing the best they can to manage things, and it's an important job, and we give all respect to it. But there's a difference between that and my spiritual life. This is my responsibility. I depend on Krishna, and Krishna will reveal to me. I don't have to worry. So this verse says, Vaishnavera dosha drishte havi sabadan. Don't see any faults in the Vaishnavas. And nirantara koribe. Vaishnavera gunagan. You should always sing the glories of the Vaishnavas. So we've gone a little longer than I wanted to go. but I would like to sing a song, because we like to sing songs. So this is a song called Vaishnava Aparadha. And yesterday, the day before, we told the story about Srivas Thakur and Gopal Chappal, and how Gopal Chappal, he committed this terrible offense to Srivas Thakur. He put some meat and some wine and different articles of worship, Goddess Bhavani, in front of the doorstep of Srivas Thakur. And because of that, Gopal Chappal, he developed leprosy. And he was begging forgiveness from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu told him, get away from me. He said that I can't help you. You have to go to Srivas Thakur. Only Srivas Thakur can help you. And so Gopal Chappal, he went to Srivas Thakur and said, please, please forgive me. Srivas Thakur said, what? I'm not a Vaishnava. It's no problem. But still that wasn't enough. And it's described that later Gopal Chappal, he saw Vikeshwar Pandit doing kirtan. And Vikeshwar Pandit is dancing. Sometimes he would dance for 36 hours straight. Can you do like that? 36, you can't even dance for 36 minutes straight, right? 36 hours, my gosh. And so many crowds of people were coming around Vikeshwar, and suddenly Vikeshwar fell unconscious on the ground, and everybody started coming forward. And Gopal Chappal pushed them back. He protected Vikeshwar Pandit. And because of that, Vikeshwar Pandit gave him some blessing. And he told him when Vikeshwar Pandit told him what he'd done, he said, you should go to Purushottam Thakur, who was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, and you tell him what you've done, and you surrender to his lotus feet. So he went to Purushottam Thakur, and Purushottam Thakur, then he gave him initiation. He said, your name is Devaki Nandan Das. And he said, I have a very important instruction for you. You should write this Vaishnava Saran, this song glorifying all the different Vaishnavas. And so many Vaishnavas, they sing this song. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that if someone's committed some offense to a Vaishnava, they should glorify the Vaishnavas. And by glorifying the Vaishnavas, it also protects us from committing some offense. So there's many Vaishnavas who sing this song. I've seen in India, some Gaudiya Mutts, quite often, they sing it every day. Different Goswamis and Babaji Paribars, they also sing it every day. It's a very nice song. I'd like to sing this with you today. And this is in a raga called Asabari. Asa means hope. Gita Priya sings this sometimes. Do you know Asabari? Yes? Very nice, isn't it? So we'll sing this in this. Vaishnava Aparadha Vrindavana Vasi Jata Vaishnava Aparadha Pratame Vandana Kori Sabhara Charana Pratame Vandana Kori Sabhara Charana Nila Chala Pasijata Mahaprabhu Gana Pasijata Mahaprabhu Gana Bhumite Padya Vandon Sabara Charana Bhumite Padya Vandon Sabara Charana Nabadvipa Vasijata Mahaprabhu Bhakta. Sabhara charana bandhan hoye anurakta. Sabhara charana bandhan hoye anurakta. Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jata Goda Deshe Sthiti Sabara Charana Vandon Koriya Pranati Koriya Pranati Jai Deshe Vaise Gaurangera Gana Udva Bahu Kori Vandon Sabarachara. Udva Bahu means with the hands in the air. Udva Bahu Kori Vandon Sabarachara. Hoye Chena Hoye Bena Prabhu Jata Dasa Sabara Charana Vandon Dande Kori Ghasa Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dare Jane Jane Dare Jane Jane Eveda Purane Guna Gaya Jeba Shune Guna Gaya Jeba Shune Mahaprabhu Gana Sabha Patita Pavana Sai lobe mue pape la inusharana Sai lobe mue pape Vandana Korite Mui Kata Shakti Dari Kata Shakti Tamoburi Doshe Mui Damba Matra Kori Tatapi Mukera Bhagya Manera Ulasa Kera Bhagya Manera Ulasa Doshakami moadami koroni jadasa. Doshakami moadami Doshakami moadami koroni jadasa. Sarvavansha Siddhi Hoya Jamabanda Chute Jagate Julabha Hoya Premadana Lute Jagate Dulaba Manira Basana Purna Achirati Hoya Haribo Manira Basana Purna Achirati Hoya Sana Purna Achirati Hoya Devaki Nandana Das Bolo Devaki Nandana Das Devaki Nandana Das Devaki Nandana Das Elobe Koya Elobe Koya Elobe Koya Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada We're a little late. I want to have some questions and reflections, but I really want to say something about this song. Actually, it would take me a few days to speak about this song properly, but at least a little something we should know. This song comes in chronological in order. We can understand it because he says, Pratame Vandana Kodi, in the first line. First of all, Brindavana Basi Jata. I offer obeisances to the devotees of Vrindavan. And we wrote some comments on this in our magazine on Vaishnava Aparadha, explaining why Pratame Vandana Kodi, Sabarach, and that's another topic, which is not so important for our discussion, but very interesting. I began by offering obeisances to all the devotees in Vrindavan, Sabaracharan, and then Nila Chalabasi Jata Mahaprabhu Bhakta, Mahaprabhu Gan. I offer, again, the Mahaprabhu Gan, the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer respects to those devotees in Jagannath Puri, not to everyone in Jagannath Puri, but I'm focused on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhumi te padiya vandon sabaracharan. I fall down on the ground to do that. Then, next, Navadvipa Basi Jata Mahaprabhu Bhakta. I worship all the devotees of Mahaprabhu, the Bhaktas of Mahaprabhu. Sabara Charana Vandan Hoy Anurakta. I pray for some attachment to their lotus feet. Then Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jata Goda Deshe Stiti Sabara Charana Vandan Koryak Pranati. I offer my pranams to all the Mahaprabhu's associates in Goda Desh. And then next I offer my pranams to the devotees in ISV, and also in Russia, and Ukraine also, and other places. He says, Jai Desi, Baisi, Gaurangaragan, Urdhva Bahu, Kori Vandon, Sabaracha. When you say Urdhva Bahu, it means, hey, listen, Hare Krishna announcement, right? That's what you do. You put your hands up in the air. Urdhva Bahu. So please mark this. Jai Desi, Baisi, Gaurangaragan, wherever they take birth. We don't care if they're a Deshi or if they're a Bideshi. We don't care where that person takes birth, whether they're in Russia, whether they're in America, or this or that. If they're a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Urdhva Bahu Kori Vandon, Sabaracharan. I worship the lotus feet of all those devotees. And then he says an amazing thing, Hoy Chena Hoy Bena Prabhu Jata Das Sabaracharana Vandon Dante Korigas. Withdrawing my teeth means that I'm not making any excuses. Just like Gita Priya, when she's chastised by her parents, she never says anything to defend herself. She just completely accepts whatever they have to say, right? That's the standard behavior of a Vaishnava. Very good. That's the meaning of Dante Korigas. I have straw in my teeth, means I'm not going to say anything. You can punish me. You can tell that to your mother and father. I'm guilty, now you can punish me. So he says, I worship all these devotees, all the devotees of Mahaprabhu from the past, and all the devotees of Mahaprabhu in the future. Now there's another meaning to this, according to Bengali grammar. It also means all the persons who used to be devotees. They used to come to ISV, we preached them, we met them on the street corner, we gave them a book, they started coming. They were chanting 16 rounds. But then their old girlfriend came back or something, and they got in Maya. And they left, and we haven't seen them in a long time. We don't know where they were. But they're such great personalities. For 2 weeks they were coming. I worship them. They're worshipable. Because at one time they were a devotee. Such a beautiful thing. And Hoibena, I worship all the persons who are not yet devotees but will become devotees. Well, that means everybody. Because everyone's going to become a devotee. This is Devakinandan Dasa's heart. And he says that, well, you may question, why am I saying all this about the Vaishnavas? You're just some sentimental fellow. Maybe like Srivas Prabhu, I think he wants to borrow money from me because he's always saying nice things about me and that. I'm wondering, you know. Why is he saying all these nice things about me? He says, no, really. Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dari Dani Jani. Every single associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, every devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has the potency to deliver an entire universe. Can you do that? You trying to argue with me? Devakinandan Das says right here that you have the ability, and you also, and Gita Priya too, have the ability to deliver not just everybody in your school, not just everybody in San Jose or in California or in America, or not just on this planet, but everybody in the whole universe. Does it make sense? What do you think? She's not really quite sure if it makes sense or not. Well, I don't know about this. And then he says, Eveda Purani Gunagayi Jebasuni. It's not my opinion. This is what all the Vedic literatures and all the Puranas say. I don't have time to go into this right now, but we have extensive Pramanas from Padma Purana, and also from Narada Bhakti, Narada Pancharatra, and other literatures. I could supply you if someone was interested, how one Vaishnava can purify the entire universe. And how is that? Maybe you can't. Maybe you feel like you can't do it. But Gita Priya, Krishna's name can purify the universe. So if you say Krishna's name, the whole universe can become purified. Because that name of Krishna has gone inside of you. So if you repeat that, and therefore, Brahmanda Tarite Sakti Dari Jani Jani, every Vaishnav has the ability to deliver the universe. Understand how powerful the Vaishnavas are. He's not just sentimental saying this. Eveda Purana Gunagaya Jebasuni. All the Vedic literatures say this because, oops, what did I do? Because the holy name is within their heart. They have that potency. They can do it. Mahaprabhu Gana Sabapatita Pavan. All the associates of Mahaprabhu were the deliverers of the fallen. And that's why I'm going to them. Tai lobe mui papi loini saran. Because I'm a great papi. I'm a mahapapi. I'm a great sinful person. So I'm coming to them. Those devotees are the only shelter that I have. If Krishna is Kripambudi, he's the ocean of mercy, that Krishna Kripa Srimurti, the embodiment of that mercy, is Sri Gurudev, is the Vaishnavas. Krishna doesn't give his mercy personally. He gives his mercy through the devotees. And Devakinandan Das is saying, learn this, it's very important. Vandana korite mui, kata sakti dari, tamabudi doshi mui, dhamba matra kori. He says, I know. You're thinking, I want to borrow money from you, right? Like my friend Srivas. You're thinking like that. That's why he's saying all this nice stuff about the Vaishnavas. He said, no, that's not actually the real reason. He says, actually, honestly, Vandana korite mui kata shakti dari. I have no strength to glorify the Vaishnavas. It's such a wonderful thing to glorify them. He says, but I can't stop. Tamo buddhi doshi mui dhamba matra kori. He said, it's only out of great pride that I'm doing this. He said, but it's just so nice to glorify the Vaishnavas. Tatapi mukera bhagya manera ulas. I get such manera ulas, such happiness in my mind and heart to glorify the Vaishnavas. It's such a wonderful, happy thing. And even though I have no power to glorify them, still I get so much happiness. And so then he says, very important line, we could all remember this one half a verse. Dosha kami, moadami, koro nija das. Can we repeat that? It's not so hard. Dosha kami, moadami, koro nija das. Let's do it again. Dosha kami, moadami, koro nija das. I'm kind of doing this in Bengali Oriya pronunciation. In Hindi you wouldn't say kami, but you'd say kshami, I know. But this is the way the language is. I'm sorry. So, dosha kami, I have so many faults. You please overlook my faults. Moadami, even though I'm an adama, I'm a very, very fallen person. Koro nija das. Make me, don't grant me, make me, koro. Koro nija das. Make me nija das into your servant. This is our desire from the Vaishnavas. Sarva vansha siddhi hoy jamabandha chute. Why? Because all that siddhi, all the perfection that one can gain in this world, from freedom from the clutches of Jamaraj, jagate dulabha hoy prema dhanalute. We can get this wealth of prem. It's the greatest thing in the world from the Vaishnavas. And there he says, therefore he says, manira basana purna acharati hoy. I have this basana, manira basana. I have this thing. I can't get it out of my head. This is the way it should be in our bhajan. I just can't forget about this. Amanira basana purna acharati devakinanda. I have this lobha, this greed. I want this thing. I want this thing. I want this thing. I want the mercy of the Vaishnavas. But if we start thinking like Indra's doing, I'm a devotee of Krishna. What do I need with the Brijbasis? What do I need? This person's a demon. Britasura, he's just a demon. I am the chief of the demigods. I'm the best book distributor. I know so many. I know the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I'm almost an incarnation. If we think like that, then what hope will there be for it? But we should have this other thing in our heart, this basana, this thing we just can't give up. Manira basana, we can't give up thinking, I need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. I need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And so this is such an important lesson that we get from this pastime of Citraketu. So I've gone over time, And we don't have a lot of time before our Sunday program, so I want to stop here. What should we do? Shivas Prabhu, I'm taking shelter at your lotus feet. Sorry? Okay, we'll just stop here. Okay. So if anybody has any other comments or questions or anything, you can, okay, one. How do we hide our bhakti? Yeah. It's actually not very complicated. It's just the opposite of showing it. We just don't show it off. And one example is given of Mukunda. And Mukunda, one day he was a doctor, and he'd gone to see the, I don't think it was the Nawab, some big Muslim official. And there was some person, some servant, fanning him with a peacock fan. And when Mukunda saw the peacock fan, he remembered Krishna. And he fell down on the ground in ecstasy. He couldn't control himself. He couldn't hide anything. He just fell down on the ground in ecstasy. And when that Nawab saw that, he said, well, what happened? He said, oh, I have some epilepsy. He hid it. He could have said, yeah, well, you know, after I chanted Hare Krishna for 1 week, then I saw Krishna, and when I see the peacock feather, I fall in ecstasy. He didn't speak like that. Rather, he hid his bhakti. And all different religious traditions teach us that. In the Bible, one of my favorite statements, it says that when you give charity with your right hand, don't let your left hand know that you're doing that. Don't advertise it. Don't start telling everybody that we're doing this thing, because then we'll lose the benefit of it. Okay? So we'll stop there. We'll be back at 3 o'clock for the next part of our program. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhaktabinda ki, Vamsakalpatarubhischa, Kripa Sindhu Bhyeva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.